big flower box around her house up there on the corner.
Who's doing that?
Can't Burger, one down the street.
Right down the street?
Yeah. Right before Belated, right before the door.
Okay.
Right behind my.
Oh, I see. Okay. That little brick.
Yeah. Mr. Laker's having trouble with his garage. They want to put it on one side of the house. Now he's got to rearrange the whole thing.
Brad.
Yeah, because he's not allowed to have two street addresses on one.
Darn it.
Well, here's that piece of the Democrats address. I don't know if you ever starts at the front.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing I've got. This is the important part.
Tim knew I get let's call it American now since they changed the name from the Democrat to the American. You know, I got it, wanted to know who can publish it. And I said, yeah, I just got to cut it out of the paper. I don't think there's too many people in Oldenburg get that paper. Something in there about the extra funds too in there the other week. About a hearing we're going to have for that extra money you need. So there's going to be a public hearing about that.
Oh, the additional
Yeah,
appropriation.
that was in there the week before last.
Okay, good.
Good. It's good to hear. It's working. Mr. Kellerman.
We know what you say to that.
Is it all good?
I'm not going to get it too high.
No.
Holiday. So stay down there.
Boo hiss.
Everybody's got maladies.
See, I go to Indianapolis today. Heard it was kind of slick out there this morning.
No, I stay home. I'm going tomorrow morning.
That should be good, yeah. Should be good for the next 2 weeks, the way it sounds. My tulips are starting to come up already.
I do too.
You guys already have some sprouts?
Spring comes.
Wash your car next week, supposed to get up to 74 one.
I'll do it.
Living in the past in here.
Yeah, utility board. Okay to take care of that. She can't stand those.
Ooh, I gotta do one of
Some calendars don't get me,
I
but.
forgot to lay it out, forgot to bring it up. I'll slip up here someday and put it up. I put one up over there. That's a new one over
You
there.
always, you'd be in there, 10, 15 minutes early, just looking around.
All right. It's 7 o'clock. Have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, for coming. First thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from February 2nd. We've all had the opportunity to take a look at the minutes.
I have, yes.
And if there's no problems, you want
No,
to make a
no,
motion to accept those?
I didn't see anything to change or add. Looked good to me.
Okay.
I'd go ahead and make a motion.
All right, second. All in favor?
Do you have a agenda hard copy? I've got the email, but if not.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. First thing on new business, the annual financial report.
I think you've all had a chance to review that.
Mhm.
went very smoothly with the new software this year. So everyone could throw a signature on there. We'll get it published to the newspaper.
Just sign it anywhere?
Yep. If anyone would like a copy of the financial report, let me know. I'll email it to you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You gotta sign it.
I gotta sign it too.
I'm not gonna do that because it's like 24 pages, but if you'd like to see it, I can email it to you.
She can email it to you if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Dodge Ram bumper repair quote.
Yes. So, oh, there it is. Actually,
This isn't stemming from the,
it is. They
Accident.
had, yeah, so they had it quoted to repair it. Tri-County Collision could fix it for, it looks like it's $1,094. So I told them just to go ahead and get the quote, and we would vote on if they want to fix it or not.
okay, and that's. And what does insurance pay on this one?
Nothing, I don't think.
But they took care of the other people.
Mhm.
Okay.
Would this come out of the police fund, or where would this get pulled from?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. We could pull it from, let's see, other garage, or we could pull it from a police fund. Police equipment has funding in it, but it's only like 4,500.
Yeah.
Other garage is 3,000. Budgeted at 3,000. And we spent about 1,100 out of it last year.
Okay. So this is stemming from when it was back into the other vehicle out there in the parking lot
Mm-hmm.
in December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Do we need to decide fund tonight, or just approve the payment for?
It's really up to her to decide where things are out of.
Okay.
As long as she's obeying the budget.
I wouldn't take it out of the police fund. No.
I don't think we would have to. I think we could take it out of miscellaneous or
Right. Okay.
Like the garage
motion,
funds.
Yep. I'd go ahead and make a motion to pay that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is the sisters would like to read a letter. Robbie,
And then I will give you a copy of it.
okay,
Dear members of the Oldenburg Town Council and the local Oldenburg community, the leadership team of the Sisters of St. Francis would like to take this opportunity to announce to the local community that we have appointed a space utilization task force to help us with planning for our future use of spaces at the Mother House. Members of this task force consist of 5 sisters and 2 coworkers. The leadership team has also engaged with a consulting firm, Hoffman Planning, Design, and Construction, to help us with the complexity of planning for our future use of space. The Hoffman Group has experience with more than 70 religious congregations in 25 states over the past 25 years. They have already made their initial visit. We asked Hoffman to consider 3 primary goals for this proposed facility, for any proposed facility changes. 1, improve overall ease of movement for community members. 2, improve access to critical services and functional spaces. And 3, free up appropriate spaces for other use, revenue generating potentially. Hoffman's work will include the following 3 components: a property condition assessment. Our last comprehensive assessment dates to 1996. Secondly, existing use and functional assessment. Our last assessment is over 10 years old and was prior to the Epiphany Hall renovation and the vacating of Teresa and Olivia Halls. And thirdly, civic community needs assessment. Our last assessment is over 10 years old, and we have potential collaborators in our area that were not here 10 years ago. Mike Edwin, who's a senior consultant, senior living and religious markets, will be leading the civic community needs assessment, and he will be following up with the initial list of names we have given him. Some of you may be receiving a phone call in the near future to participate in a survey that Mike is conducting on our behalf. If you'd like to talk with Mike about a possible use of these facilities that we may not be aware of, he can be reached at the following, and we give the information on how he can be reached. It is vitally important that we ensure the local community understand that the sisters are doing long-range planning. So for some spaces, the targeted availability date will likely be years down the road. Secondly, we want to emphasize that we are in the initial stages of planning and anticipate need for much of the space within our buildings for the near term. And this is signed by the leadership team. We wanted to make the community aware of this.
Okay.
So sister, that's, this plan applies to the use and disposition of the entire campus, let's say?
It's not the disposition, but we at the moment, but possibly down.
Okay.
Okay, so you're trying to determine how to use some of the vacant spaces now,
Yes, yes,
or what will be vacant in the future. Okay.
yes, yes. And we're first planning primarily to focus on, we've got the sisters spread all over the building. And as if you've been in the building, you will notice it's not really super accessible in places because we have stairs everywhere. And so that's one of the things, is how do we get, especially the sisters that are more vulnerable, yes, in compact areas instead of all over. But recognizing that within the next few years, we're going to have it's open space. I mean, it's as we continue to get smaller. But we do have 115 sisters now. And the academy still uses parts of the building. And if not, I mean, they're certainly one of the partners that we're talking with.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it'll be for the use of our current use, but also potential future.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the Water Street area potential effects mitigation recommendations. A lot of words there. As you know, we have been going through a lot trying to get the Water Street project to move forward. We've had some concerns from community members about the culvert down on Water Street, the barrel stone culvert. And after many meetings, the state has taken all that information and came up with a list of recommendations on how we are going to move forward with this project. And I don't think I'm going to read word for word everything in here, but I'm going to let you know the highlights of what the town is going to do to mitigate the potential effects of the project. The first thing they say, the town of Oldenburg will fund and oversee the photographic and drawing documentation of the stone culvert. So they need us to take photographic history of it, and they're going to make drawings as well. HWC is going to help us with that. A lot of these things HWC is going to help us with. And those documents will be sent to the Franklin County Historical Society, the Indiana State Museum, and the Indiana Historical Society. B, prior to project commencement, the town of Oldenburg shall enter into contract with a masonry contractor experienced in working with Indiana limestone and the removal and reuse of mortared limestone, and who will oversee and conduct the deconstruction of the stone culvert in such a manner as to preserve the original stones. And then the contractor will also oversee the veneering of the new concrete culvert components and then try to include the same mortar color and approximately the same size mortar joints and other to make it resemble the original stone culvert as close as possible. The town of Oldenburg will convene a stone culvert oversight committee prior to commencement of the project. And this committee will be made up of citizens of Oldenburg, and we will, that committee will work with the masonry contractor to make sure that it's being done in a satisfactory manner, so that everybody is satisfied. The town of Oldenburg will plant 17 new trees to replace those removed along Water Seat within 1 year of commencement of the projects. The trees will be planted at the town park or other locations as agreed by the town. And we will need to speak to an arborist to get tree guidance. We have to develop a tree plan under guidance from a certified arborist. The plan will include tree species, planting locations, and planting specifics. And the plan will be made available to consulting parties for 30-day review and comment period. The town of Oldenburg will include a unique special provision within the project requiring the contractor to salvage all limestone and brick currently used within existing sidewalks and tree lines that would be disturbed by the project. The materials will be made first available to the owners of the property adjacent to where the materials were removed. And if the property owner decides that they want them, they will be stacked neatly on their property by the contractor. And then all unclaimed salvage materials shall become the property of the town of Oldenburg. To determine the disposition of the materials, the contractor shall coordinate with the town of Oldenburg on the relocation for storage of the salvage materials. All property owners within the property limits may be eligible to claim any salvage materials not retained by the town of Oldenburg or the property owners adjacent to the project. The town of Oldenburg will include within the project contract limiting the use of vibratory compaction equipment in areas with historic resources, including retaining walls and building foundations. And then it goes into the specifics of what the velocity and the peak particle velocities and those things will have to be. But we're going to be monitoring the vibration that's going to be affecting the foundations and the walls that are within the project scope. And that is pretty much it. All the consulting parties that were at the meeting and all the property owners along Water Street, I believe if the property owners are part of the consulting group, they have received a 437-page document, which includes all the plans, photographs, and these mitigation recommendations. So that's all we need to say about that, I guess.
Brian,
Yes.
do you know or can you speak to in those plans for the approximately 17 trees. You know if any of those were gonna be put back along Water Street, or some would be sort of be taken out, or those all be going to that park? Do you know? Is it specified?
We'll certainly look at it. If we don't want to plant trees near the sidewalks, because of obvious reasons, yes. But if there's an area that's away from the sidewalk a sufficient distance, we'd consider that, because the town has the ability to decide where they go. So,
Thank you.
next thing on, go ahead.
If for some
Yeah.
reason, like citizens of the town, don't agree with what you just read, what's the recourse? Do they reach out to the state? Do they reach out to you, to the town council, or how do you?
There's contact information in that document that was mailed to everybody. All right. Anything else? Next thing on the agenda, snow removal quotes. Back when we got the 12-inch snow with the cold weather afterwards, we decided that we'd go out and get quotes for snow removal. And what we did is we went out for quotes just to remove the big piles that were along Pearl Street at the ends of Pearl Street on Water and Main Street. And the reason why we did that is because we wanted to get an idea of what that was going to cost us in the future. We do understand that really, if we get a snow that big, the large piles of snow being there the whole time was not ideal for anybody, business owners or residents. So we're going to take a look at those snow removal quotes, and we're going to develop a budget that may allow for at least one snow event like that a year. But we'll see. But we have numbers now that we can look at, and we can extrapolate from that what it would cost to do a whole block and things like that. So that's something that the council will review at a future date, and we'll come up with a plan and present it to everybody to let you know what we're thinking. But that'll probably be sometime this summer before we get that put together. Next thing, the Franklin County Business and Travel back to the snow removal. I want to thank everybody who submitted a quote. We really appreciate the numbers that you sent us, and they will be reviewed and considered when we consider the budget. Next thing is the Franklin County Business and Travel Expo. Franklin County is holding an expo at the fairgrounds this Saturday, March 7th from 9. I think it goes till 3. There are a few businesses here from Oldenburg that are going to participate. The town is not going to participate next year, but I am going to go and walk through the expo to see if maybe next year that's something that we can participate in. But I think the Beautiful World is going to be there, and also Creek Bottom Brewery is going to be there, and there may be a few others that I'm not aware of. But it sounds like it could be a good thing to promote Oldenburg. So next thing on the agenda, the 229 Vine Street northbound speed reports. Now we've got southbound speed reports as well. It looked like the average speed going northbound was 28.8 miles per hour or something like that, or 34 maybe.
It had to at least be 34, 28, maybe your cops can. Actually, when you guys drive by, how fast are you going? I'm not saying you're speeding, I'm just wondering because it's good speed.
I don't know exactly what my speed is, but I go under.
Let's see the average. Oh, there it is.
So I'm not around. So I'm going.
Okay, the northbound average was 28.55 miles an hour. Southbound average is a little more than that. It was 34, I believe. There were several cars that were above 40 miles an hour. There were a lot more coming into town than going out of town, but that may be because the sensor is picking up where the speed limit is 40. But average speed going southbound is 35.35 miles an hour. It looks like the times that most people are going above the speed limit are between about 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that might give us some data that we can look at and maybe focus some enforcement efforts during those time frames.
Yeah, I just don't really want to put my trucks in my yard anymore. Actually,
So-
if a resident has property damage, who's gonna cover that?
Insurance. Okay, next thing on the agenda is Adam has talked to me about some internet for the police vehicles, and we've got a couple options, and I'd like you to explain that to the council so that we can consider what to do with that.
So I have in there, technology wise, I have a request for a tablet for my car. And I'm able to take you guys.
Mhm.
For the internet, there's two options that Verizon has. The one would be a cradle point, which is essentially a dedicated server in your vehicle. That has an upfront cost of $1,326.80. There is a rebate that they're offering municipalities to come up with March of $1,000. So that would obviously offset much of that cost. And that would be $60 a month recurring after that to maintain the service. The other option is to do a jet pack, which is kind of like an internet puck essentially for the vehicle. And that is a little more monthly at about $80 per month. So with the cradle points, it's a little bit more upfront, but it's cheaper per month. If you do the jet packs, there's no upfront cost, but it is about $20 more per month for the streams.
And the upfront cost was like,
The upfront, so out of the gate, it was $1,326.80.
so it'd be 326.
But if we do it in March,
Credit of $1,000.
Right.
that's March only.
Yes.
Okay, and those are tablets? And those are tablets?
The tablet is,
That's the internet fund.
and that's the Panasonic keypad. The hoping that still has some available. They're great products. Doug didn't really want one. He's happy with the computer. So just requesting one for my patrol truck.
Okay,
So technology side wise, that's what I'm requesting from the board. And as I had mentioned, I don't necessarily have a preference. I was a little intrigued by the Cradle Point just because it's a good product. That's a great incentive they're giving right now. And then it's a little cheaper per month, which is kind of nice. So, but I would defer to you guys on whatever you think's best.
This was option 2.
Mhm.
This will allow us to get on film, and I think I've talked to you guys about that. So that's the CAD system that Franklin County uses. With this, we'll be able to run plates ourselves and people. We get a call history. It's great for officer safety. The mapping. This is very beneficial. Warrants, yes, we can see warrants as well.
Okay,
Yeah, so there's a lot of very, very good information that right now we do not have access to. It would make report writing a lot easier.
and this tablet is what you're considering is the one that's refurbished
Yes.
for $383.99. Okay,
That quick conversation with John. Better option that it's going to sync up with the new records.
At least in my.
no, but and Adam was filling me in on that too. He says that the Cradle Point's superior,
With comparable costs, I
right?
think that would be.
Or lower
at
month
least
to month.
The way I would lean, yeah. And with that 1,000 coming off the top.
Okay.
Can't hardly say no to that.
Is there a line item on the budget that would actually pay for this?
That would be it coming out of police equipment. Is that correct?
Yes, and then we'd have to up our internet or our phone line in July.
Mhm.
Do we need to vote on
Yes.
on one of these?
I think we should keep, especially if you want to keep that.
Yeah,
We'll get it in March,
well,
so we can get the $1,000 rebate.
then based on what Adam said, more that discussion with John about kind of reliable option and it's syncing up with the upgrade more, costs being fairly comparable and the rebate option really basically taking away that upfront install fee. I'd go with the Cradle Point option. I'd make a motion for that.
Okay. I'll second the motion.
And
And
then
then we'll do this separate.
yeah.
All right, all in favor of the Cradle Point?
Aye.
And then the second item is purchasing the touchpad for Adam's truck. It's a refurbished, it's $383, saves a lot of money from a new one.
Yeah.
And it'll work well with the touchpad. With the Cradle Point.
Every cop under the age of 60 in Indiana has one of these in their car.
Can I get a motion to accept this?
I would make a motion. Again, just from the kind of quick talk about the budget, it sounds like we're okay there. But I'd go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Two more items. One was, what we talked about last month, was bringing up Mark Bennett to backfill Doug's position.
Mhm.
As reserve. I have his resume up there for you guys. Known him for a long time, professional guy, brings a wealth of experience. He's already been to the three basic courses for the reserve officer for about 5 years. We'll bring over his own equipment. We really don't have to furnish him with anything of the shoulder patches. So it would be very little investment on the town to get them rolling. So I wanted to bring that name to you guys to see the approval for that.
And how long have you known Mark?
For about 20 years.
Okay. And he's got an impressive resume.
He has a great background, a lot of good training.
Okay. We get a motion to bring Mark on as a reserve deputy for Adam.
I'd go ahead and make that motion.
Second,
Like the
All in
familiarity.
favor?
Aye.
Now, traditionally, you bring him to the next meeting so that they can swear. Swear it down.
Sounds good. The other thing was we discussed before was my suggestion to the board was to look at selling the Crown Victoria and the Ford Explorer and possibly looking at purchasing something updated for the reserve to use in the service as spare car for that and all. But the first step obviously would be selling those vehicles. And I wanted to see what the board thought about that and how the town typically goes about selling vehicles if you approve.
Do we have a special process, John?
The statute on a police vehicle says that you can choose to donate it to another department or remove the specialized police equipment and sell it at a public auction, just like any other municipal vehicle.
Can you do sealed bids as well, John? Is that
Yeah.
possible? Okay.
Okay, and then you would buy a used
Yes.
vehicle. Have you looked into the grant information that I sent you?
Yeah, I've been going through the paperwork, looking at that process, but that's something I think that is a fit. So. I
Yeah.
would be pursuing that.
Okay. Because it looks like there's the potential that they would cover it.
Yeah, the way it's written, it seems like it would fit.
Right, okay. If you need any more information on that, I can
Thank you.
give you more information.
So basically, for now, I guess I'm just seeking to get the board's approval to move forward with selling that. We'll have to script the Crown Victoria, but the board store already is. So that would be ready.
Okay.
I guess, what are the ramifications of being down a vehicle? Now, will that put a significant stress, or are we kind of gonna be all right?
As long as it's temporary, I think we'll be just fine.
So then what is temporary? How long would
As long
you,
as it's not a permanent thing, basically, is if we could figure out something, I don't know, within a year. I think we'd be okay.
What, just kind of thinking worst case scenario, we're not really able to get any outside funding to kind of assist with it. What kind of cost would we potentially be looking at for the?
Yeah, so I had looked at some current options. There's a company called Chicago Motors, they're very reputable. There's been agencies in our area that purchased from them before. As an example, there was a 2019 Ford Explorer all-wheel drive, 75,000 miles, very clean, great condition, and that was $9,995. So we're selling the Crown Victoria and the Explorer, as an example. I'm not sure what we get for that, but that would help offset some of those costs. So it would not be a large cost to get something that was used. Something like that's pretty inexpensive.
okay. So it's not like we're gonna have a $30,000 bill we're looking at after you sell those and like,
Yeah, that should eat some of that cost, even take it lower.
okay. Well, do you want to go ahead with the sale of the two vehicles?
I think I'm okay. I mean, if you guys you think you'd be able to handle the stress, because like I said, we don't know what kind of time frame we're gonna be looking at here. And we're obviously want to be financially conscious of the next vehicle and how we can get the most bang for our buck and get what you guys need here.
And we can work on funding sources.
Yeah. But if you're okay with having, that open-ended wiggle room, then I'd be okay making a motion to move forward with it.
Any thoughts, Dave?
Do we need, how many vehicles do we need for Freudenberg? Is one enough?
We'll have two.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you made a motion
I'd go
to
ahead
sell
and make a
the two
motion
vehicles.
to move forward with the sale. We're looking at it, yeah.
I'll second it. All in favor?
So, Madam Kate, we need to put together a notice of sale. I can send you one
Thank you.
listing what it, basically list what's for sale and when the people can deliver the bids by and
Okay.
where you want the bids. I notice that they can appear at the public opening of the bids and increase their bid. Okay. And we put any kind of a reserve. If you don't,
I got it.
effectively,
Yeah,
effectively you are, because you don't have to accept any bids
right.
if you think they're all, if you feel like they're all too small.
Okay.
Okay.
That's,
We can certainly look into what the value might be.
And I assume you guys can handle kind of the vehicle gutting more to lack of term.
As long as Doug's okay with that. Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Brian, I may ask Eric Menor, he took care of the sale the last couple we had here,
Okay.
and he handled that through advertisement, but I think he ended up getting good.
Eric may be willing to.
And he's willing to help out with that,
Still
maybe.
do it.
And he does all that kind of stuff himself, his own stuff. So.
Okay, great. All right, anything else on that subject? All right, next thing on the agenda, US flag down at Munchville Park is in tatters. We're aware of that. We're just working on getting it replaced. So it will be replaced soon. Old business. The only thing I have on old business is Shane property.
We're back to square one a little bit because of the unsafe building law on the state side of it. I need to refile my paperwork referencing the new version of the state statute. The Oldenburg grass ordinance is really gonna touch the mustard for this.
Right.
So I'm in the process. Get to it. Thought maybe I was gonna get it done today, but I didn't.
Okay. You think you'll have it next month?
I know that I will.
Okay. All right.
My plan is to do it tomorrow.
Now we'll open it up. Did anybody have any miscellaneous they want to discuss?
I just have a quick thing. I was wondering, is there any way we could actually get American flags put along like Main Street, like during the summer or like July or something? Or I know like near Harrison, like there's towns that actually hang American flags. I don't know. I thought that would be kind of cool.
I think they hang a few now, not very many. I think there's.
You know, it's like it's hanging from like where they put the Christmas lights or not.
I don't know. We can look at it and see what
Or
the.
that stuff or something.
We put flags up, periodically at Freudenfest, Fest, and they're up and down. Some of the brackets have been replaced, but some of them are still growth, so it's not as many can go up right now, basically. There are going to be patriotic banners put on Pearl Street and along Harvey's Branch sometime in the next month or two, to the 250th, so those banners will be just a little bit different this year than they have been in the past.
Okay. How many of the brackets need to be replaced? Is it?
No idea. I know we replaced some last year. We bought a few last year before Freudenfest and, put them up. And it's just the idea that there's only a few people that are doing it. And do we have time to do it? And that kind of thing.
Right.
It all usually happens around Freudenfest.
Because I know we put out flags last year. I stuck some of them in. Okay.
Brian, did you ever hear back from the gentleman about the fixing the things on the poles?
The GFIs?
Yeah.
No, I have not. I have called back, and he said he's working on it, but the gears don't mesh all the time, and they go slow.
Right.
All right. Anything else? Get a motion to adjourn?
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Get your pens out.